What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I wanted to put this graphic up here just to reiterate a point that I've been making about Larry Bird and his impact on the Boston Celtics. You have some people out here who say that Bird's impact on the Celtics and Bird's impact on the NBA is exaggerated, and he didn't start. The Celtics didn't really start winning until they got Parrish and McHale, and that's the only reason why Bird get all this credit. Now I do want to acknowledge that this graphic I have up here is a little bit off. When it says that the Celtics won 26 games in 79, it actually won 29. So I do want to correct that mistake. But 1 year after John Havlicek retired, Boston won 29 games. His last season there, they were already starting to fall apart. Havlicek's last year, 77 to 78, they went 32 and 50, and they kept having a carousel of coaches. I think in 78, 79, I think they had two coaches. I think the first coach was Tom Sanders, who was fired, and I think the team was briefly coached by Dave Cowens, who I think was a player coach. But by 79-80, they hired the great Bill Fitch, who, despite the fact he has a losing record, I still think he's a top 10 all-time coach. And I've always done videos talking about why I believe that's the case. But Larry Bird was the only addition to that roster. He was the only addition to that roster from 79. As you see, in 1980, the Celtics drafted Bird, and they won 61 games with no other changes to their roster. So you try to tell me, how is it that they only won because of the additions of McHale and Parrish? In 79-80, Robert Parrish was still playing with the Golden State Warriors. In 1979-1980, Kevin McHale was still playing at the University of Minnesota. So, I ask you again, how is it that Parrish and McHale had all of this magical effect when they weren't even playing for the Boston Celtics at that particular time? And Larry Bird led them from not even qualifying for the playoffs in 1979 to all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals in 1980, his first year in the NBA. It's interesting. It's interesting because some of the people that say this crap are the dicklicks who will say, well, LeBron's first year, the Cavaliers won 18 more games. 18 more games. But they don't acknowledge that Carmelo, in his first year, the very same year as LeBron's rookie year, helped the Denver Nuggets improve even more so. I can't remember the spread, but I think it was something like 20. It might have been 24 games. And he led them to the playoffs in a much more competitive conference. But the great Larry Bird led Boston almost single-handedly. His presence alone have them improved by what was then a record margin of 32 victories. He also had a similar effect in college when he played for the Indiana Sycamores, when it was just really him. Now, he literally was dragging around a bunch of bums. Those guys weren't good, really, on that team. That's why Michigan State was able to beat them, because all they really did was just focus on shutting down Larry Bird and daring the others to beat him. And that pretty much, they stymied Bird into a bad shooting performance. And no other players in that team were really able to step up, because Bird was really their own real true all-star. But anyway, that's the thing about my channel, man. I'm not going to say things for shock value. I'm not going to just throw bullshit out there for, to get ratings or to get views. I stick with the facts. Some of these things are my opinion, but I'm not just going to say things for shock value, because I think you can still get an audience defending the truth than to just say asinine, dumb shit for clicks. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.